Oh, oh, wait. I think I just felt what she was talking about. Mm-hmm. We hit a little bump there, and the ABS kicked in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. This morning we have a Chevrolet Equinox. This thing was in here a couple weeks ago for a rear main seal that was leaking, and leaking very profusely, actually. But that's not why it's here. That part is taken care of. We pulled the engine and repaired the PCV system that goes bad on these and causes the rear main seal to leak. So we fixed the seal, we fixed all that problems, and now the customer states that she's had it to another shop. Since then, they did rear brakes. She is saying that it is having problems where it feels like the brakes are slipping. Now, what does that mean? You tell me, and we'll both know. So let's see if we can get it figured out. She said it's when you brake hard. My guess is it's shaking, but she said it just feels like it's slipping when you brake hard coming up to a corner. So let's get in here and see what we've got. Contact. So she said that the oil leak is taken care of, which is good, because when she called me about 2-3 weeks after we did the rear seal on it, I did not make a video on that, just FYI. I was afraid that there was something that I did wrong and we didn't get the problem taken care of. You know, that whole PTSD or whatever they call it. I don't know. It's not really PTSD. It's anxiety, I guess. But she said no, that part's taken care of. It's just the brakes. The story is that she's had it to at least one other shop. There's a shop a town over that will do brakes, rotors, small things. They don't do diagnostic work and don't do very much major work. She took it to them, and they said that she's got bad brakes and rotor, or pads and rotors. They put new pads and rotors on it. From what I understand, just the rear. And they thought that should take care of it. She said it's still the same. I think she took it to another shop and no results there. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this thing figured out or not, but let's see what we can decipher. What the slipping of the brakes feels like. When the call came in, I was questioning, tried to question, does it feel like the ABS is kicking in, or, does it sound like there's a motor running? And no, just feels like sometimes the vehicle's not going to stop, and it just feels like they're slipping. So, I don't know. Let's see what we can figure out. It doesn't sound normal, so let's just see if we can figure it out. She said it's mostly whenever you brake really hard coming up to a corner. So I don't know. Let's see what we can figure out here. The only light on is the airbag light. Oh yeah, mile per hour light, eco light. Nothing abnormal though. So yeah, and she said it really happens when you brake hard. So let's get up to speed limit, and I mean that was fairly normal. Wasn't a lot of shaking going on. So I know she's had it to 2 different shops, because she did say that some of the 2 other shops told her that there's nothing wrong. I know that it doesn't, I mean, it really doesn't shake too much. So slipping. Said sometimes it feels like the pedal just isn't doing what it needs to do. So I'm gonna take this thing on a few stops and drives, and I'll see if I can get it figured out. This is going to be a fairly boring video, it appears like, until I get figured out what might be going on, because right now everything feels normal. Alright, so the best I can tell is maybe what she was talking about is I'll see if you guys can pick it up on camera here. I don't know if you guys seen that, but when I hit the brakes, the steering wheel does it there, and it does feel like it, you know, it shakes. So classic sign of warped rotors, especially in the front. Now she did say that they did the rotors in the rear, so I think we need to look at the front pads and rotors now. So when we do these, we're gonna need to recommend new pads and new rotors. We don't ever want to do just rotors or just pads. That's not a good policy. So for premium braking performance, we definitely want to use pads and rotors. So let's see what we, yeah, I think that's what we're looking at. Now the other thing I want to make sure is that I've seen this happen whenever there's a loose tie rod in the front and causing a shimmy when you brake. So it's mostly whenever you brake often, and she said it does do it worse. Oh wait, I think I just felt what she was talking about. We hit a little bump there, and the ABS kicked in. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I felt it, and I did feel the vehicle start to slide. So why is that? Interesting. Do we have do we have an ABS problem that is not showing up as a code? Let's think about this a little bit. Go back, and we'll go around back onto that road, and let's see if we can make it happen again. It didn't happen there. I think we figured out what she was talking about. Man, I'm glad that happened there. A few things that could cause that is we could have an ABS sensor and one of the wheel speed sensors that is reading abnormally. Have a sensor tone ring that's broke. I've had that happen already. Doesn't throw a check-in or a ABS light, but it causes it to lock up prematurely. I've had that happen. We could have a shocks and struts. I've seen that happen where they won't keep the wheels planted good enough to where we'll have them bounce off the ground and actually lock up. So let's I mean that's not really the proper way to say it, I guess, but you know, shocks and struts keep your wheels on the ground. Bad shocks and struts causes the wheels to hop, and then therefore when they hop, you'll have them lock up, and then the ABS kicks in, and it's a whole thing. So we're going to, I think what we're going to do is we're going to hook up to the scan tool, and let's just see if we can see anything by mapping out the ABS sensors, speed sensors in all four wheels, and see what that comes up with. So stay tuned. We'll get that scan tool hooked up real quick. All right, folks, so we've figured out that we have a problem here. I want to show you guys what we see. So I am recording this, so I could... Never mind. I was recording it. But we want to pay attention to this graph here. I did check the left rear, the right front. Let's just go ahead and... Well, no, we'll leave them all on there. We'll take it down the road, and I want to show you guys there's something very subtle here that's a problem. Look at the left front wheel speed sensor. You see the little dip right there? That is a problem. So what happens is, this is not bad enough that the ABS module picks it up, but it's causing a moment, just enough of a difference that the computer thinks that it's the front wheel is skidding. So we'll take it out on another drive here. It's most evident. We'll see it most times when we have like ripples in the road. There we go. We see it quite a bit right there. There goes my ABS as well. So yeah, I think we either have a broken tone ring or we have a problem with our ABS sensor. So let's get this thing up on the lift. We'll look at the tone ring and see if we can find anything. If we can't find anything, I'm gonna go with a faulty, yeah, there, that line should mimic, and it does to a certain point, but it's not smooth, as you can see there. So up here, this road right here has a bunch of ripples in it, and we'll probably see it lock up. There we have more dips in it, and it didn't lock up that time, but we can see that we've definitely got dips in it. Now, if we look at our other one, the right front may have, that one may actually have a little bit. Anyway, we know we have a problem in the left front wheel, so let's get this thing up on the lift and see what we can figure out. This would definitely explain it. All right, we've got this thing up on the lift. Let's dig in underneath here and see what we can figure out. Just looking at our rear brakes, we can see that it does have new brake pads. Front, oh yeah, front has new brake pads as well. Looks like the Napa Silent Guard. All right, so we have left front wheel is having problems with the ABS wheel speed sensor. So what we've got, this is their ABS wheel speed sensor, and I think on these, the speed sensor is not part of the wheel bearing. No, the speed sensor is not part of the wheel bearing. It goes into the knuckle. The wheel bearing, or the ABS tone ring, though, is, however, part of the wheel bearing. So what I am going to expect to see is that tone ring is broke somewhere. Let's get a better light here so that you guys can see, and maybe I can get a better, let's get the light that has the, that lights up. That's what I want. Okay, so let's, maybe, let me get this situated so that we can all see. We all need to be a part of this party. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's turn this thing and let's just see if we can find either a chunk missing. Whoa, No, that one looks good. Dirt on it. Right there. You guys see what I'm seeing? Right there is a right there is a crack. That right there is what's causing our problem. Guaranteed. Now, let's take a look at the other side, because I think if we remember correctly, we had a little issue with the other side as well. So let's see.
But just kind of bring the rock back up along the entrance area there. He does everything. There's lots. Then nothing, you just kind of put that up onto there if you want to, but then just kind of put this up.
I mean, it's dirty, but haven't found the crack yet. Okay, nope, nothing there. All right, well, that's good. Let's see, what about this one? That one I cannot see. All right, well, the rears were looking good, so I'm not concerned about that. This, however, is going to need a new wheel bearing, and that'll take care of their problem. Let's get this quoted to them and see if they want to go ahead and fix it or not. All right, so we have a new nut. Always recommended to put a new nut on these things. I have gotten away with not putting a new nut on, but if you don't put a new nut on there, definitely recommend that you put blue Loctite on the threads, because you don't want that nut to come back off. The number for the nut, and this one is a cheaper wheel bearing. That's what the customer wanted to go with, so that's what we go with. And this is what our tone ring should look like. Now, do not use a magnet to do any of that, because you will ruin this tone ring. So don't break it, don't use a magnet on it, don't even use cleaner on it. It's going to be pretty self-explanatory. We just take this off, take the wheel off, take the brakes off, take the rotor off, and the wheel bearing comes off, put a new one on. Voila, wah, easy going, no problem. So we're gonna whiz right on through that, and I'll get you guys set up here. Once we get that done, we'll be back and I'll show you how to put everything back together. All right, we're gonna clean up the hub here. Now you do want to be careful with these hubs. We want them clean, but we don't want to deface the thing at all or take off any of the aluminum here, but the corrosion does need to come off, because that's a problem if that stays on there. The other thing is we did not pull the sensor, so we got to make sure we don't hit that sensor. So we hit that sensor and we risk the chance of ruining the sensor. So take a mild abrasive here, and we're just getting all the corrosion off of here, which is a lot here in Illinois. Probably not as bad as South Main Auto has it on his cars. Careful when you move this axle around too, because that has a chance of hitting this sensor as well. So we do want to be quite cautious here. You technically should pull this sensor out of here, but here in this area you're just asking to have to replace the whole sensor if you do that. So I just try to be extra cautious. Blow it off. Blow myself off, and then maybe I'd better show you guys what I found. So when this wheel bearing came off, here's what we found. Here's this tone ring came off in 2 pieces. So this is definitely the problem. This is designed to go back here, and then here's our new nut that goes in between there. We'll put a little anti-seize around here. I put anti-seize on the axle here, the splines, and then we'll go back together. Now, I don't put any on this part of the knuckle, because the problem with that is as small as it is, that can hold the bearing away from the face there, and we don't want that, because too much distance between the bearing and between the sensor and our ring will get us a communication error. Okay, so let's what did I just hear fall? Not a big deal. Okay, this comes back here. Let's do this. Fits in there nicely. All right, put our bolts back in the back side here, and we will come on. Need to make sure. Okay. And one more. And sometimes, in order to get your wrench in here for this top bolt, you do have to push the axle back a little bit, or use a small extension. There's a 13 millimeter back here, so we're going to get this tightened down and tighten it, torque it to specs, and we'll be good to go. Then this one here will need to torque to specs as well. This is very important here. This sets the preload on your bearing, so you definitely do not want to ugga-dugga torque that one. So let's get these tightened down, and we'll put that one on. Click. That's going to be an elbow click there, a little more than a wrist click. Elbow click. All right, now brand new nut coming right up. Like I said, this is going to be a true and accurate torque. All right, let's get the torque wrench and torque that down. All right, so we're just going to use this one to go in against. That's all we want. I'm gonna need to get a little deeper socket, because that one goes on a little further. And then what we want to do, make sure that one fits, and it does. And we'll want to go to 151 foot-pounds. So right here is where I lost my battery to my microphone, and I didn't catch it right away, so it's a couple of minutes here of no sound. I do apologize, but I'm just proving to you that yes, I did set my torque wrench to 150 foot-pounds, and then what I do on these to torque them down is I shove a punch in there, as you can see, and then we'll turn it, get it to 151 foot-pounds, and we did get that done. It makes the job a lot easier whenever you can
torque it down without the wheel on to hold the thing still. So I'm just explaining that we got it tight, we're ready to go back together with it, and yeah, I don't know what else I said there. So here just shortly you'll figure out that I got figured out my sound was gone and it's back. So on we go with the wheel and then the lug nuts, and then we let it down and torque down the lug nuts. Also, I think somewhere along here I try to torque down the wheel lug nuts, maybe it's after I got my sound back, to without putting the thing on the ground. And I was having a little back trouble. That exasperated it just a little bit. So let's skip on to where we have sound.
Sorry guys, I don't know how much of this audio I lost. My battery died on my audio, so hopefully we didn't lose anything too serious. I mean, basically we torqued everything down. All right, let's get out and test drive this thing. All right, hands are clean and presentable to our customer vehicle here. So let's go ahead and cycle the key on, back off and on to relearn our wheel bearing. All right. We have no ABS light on as of yet. And actually, I was kidding about the wheel bearing. You do not have to cycle the key. I'm just being dumb. Alright. What we want to do here is we want to get back into ABS. We want to go into... Well, we know the others were fine, so let's go ahead and... Let's just do the two front ones. Right front and left front. Show selected. Let's do a graph. And graph. Slow these down just a little bit. Okay. Now what we're looking for is a nice even graph with both of them mirroring each other. My grill may need to go inside tonight. That cover's not faring too well. So that truck came in today. Customer states there was a loud pop, and now there's all kinds of steam coming out of the oil fill cap. You guys want to see a video on that? Alright, are we mirroring each other? Can I get it said? If you remember, we were getting dips in the left front wheel speed sensor. Looky there. If anything, we're seeing more of a variation on the right front now. Left front is perfect, but we couldn't see anything wrong with that, so I think that's just yeah, it's not dipping. Smooth as butter, and they mirror each other. Okay, so let's make it down this road again, and we'll come up here on the Washboard Avenue. We'll hit the brakes pretty hard and see what happens. We'll see if we have slipping brakes, as she calls it. And I'm not making fun of her. Nothing. Never happened. Okay, so both of them are mirroring each other. That is good. Nice and smooth. Perfect. I like it. That'll work. We will call this a win. Remember, folks, sometimes you don't have a code to direct you. You have to use your head. Try to figure out how the system works, And I've always said, or I always say, if you know how the system works, it's much easier to diagnose the system. If you're just going off of symptoms and you're not sure how the system works, you're trying to fix the problem, it's extremely hard to fix it if you don't know where how the system works. So can it be fixed without knowing how the system works? Yep, you might get lucky, but if you understand how the system works, it makes the job a lot easier. With that, I've got a nicely re-rocked driveway here. It's much better than it was. No more dips in the road or in the lane here. Good. We're going to park the vehicle and send it back to the customer, and I think this should take care of it. Again, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. If you'd rather not, that's okay. No hard feelings. Hopefully we'll catch you soon. Bye.